Howdy neighbors, happy International Workers Day. Today we're going to cook 2 different burgers and complain just a little bit because on International Workers Day, workers get to complain, whereas every other day they go to work, they don't complain, another day, another paycheck. We're going to start up the grill here for our second burger. Our first burger is a ground sirloin marinated in salt, pepper, dill, and thyme. Let's see how it is. Probably could go a little more salt, a little more pepper, a little more thyme, a little more dill. Other than that, it's really good. Probably could go good for with some rye bread too, which I do have right here. So I'm going to put a little bit on the rye bread. But back to complaining. So what I want to complain about today is this war on the other side of the pond, because I'm an American, I'm from the United States, that has occurred, which I believe shouldn't have even come close to occurring, and is due to the negligence of the leaders of all sides. And it's really sad, actually. The EU, top leaders of the EU, top leaders of my government, top leaders of the Russian government, basically failed the people of the world and the people of their countries in not coming to an agreement to not have the gunpowder go off, in which it did. So here we are on day XYZ, or day number of the war, and I'm hoping that one day soon we will have an agreement that Ukraine won't join the EU and they won't join NATO, and there will be a retreat of forces, and that we can cry and kiss and cry, if you will, and get on with the other problems that the world has, other than this small squabble, which may just be a distraction of the other problems, because, you know, war is profitable still for all sides in big money terms of things. Putin asked for respect, which is uvajit in Russian, and he didn't get any, which is niya vajenya. He didn't get any respect, and he said, well, you're gonna test me, and that's basic machismo of the world, is in manlyhood. If if you say XYZ and they don't respect you, then fists are gonna be taught, and sparks fly and gunpowder goes. So достаточно, пожалуйста. Мир, пожалуйста. Хорошо. Okay, so our second burger is a burger that has been marinated the same way, but we're going to put it on the grill instead. And we're going to talk about, instead of war, we're going to talk about milk and gas. So this milk cost me about $2.60, which is an off-brand milk, which is half as much as what the brand on milk cost. And I'm from Wisconsin, so I don't know if that gives me better milk economics than others. But it's good still. So this cost me $2.60, but it should really save $5.10, right? If it was brand milk, we're gonna call it brand milk for now on, because brand, is there off-brand gas? Or is there brand on gas? No, it's basically gas. That's what you get. Although in my county, it measured just about a month ago, $1 difference from one gas station to another gas station. $1 difference. How did that happen? Well, few things about gas is that this is a renewable resource, this is a non-renewable resource, and to be honest, the value of this in terms of short-term demand and supply economies of scale and whatnot, yeah, okay, fine, that's a great price. But in terms of future outlook and what this does for society and where it has grown us and things like that, this is much more valuable. And we have subsidized this too, which has hindered innovation and development in the transportation industry, both in the individual transportation automobile industry and in our public transportation, or like larger scales of whether it was public or private or not. The development of that is way behind what it should be, both as a country and worldwide, based on how we value this product. Because once this is gone, we can make it with other things, but it's harder to make, and this is not as valuable as it should be. Because if this was $10 a gallon of gas 20 years ago, you can sure believe that automobiles and the transportation industry would have innovated, and the infrastructure would have developed better. But yet we didn't do that. So here we are today complaining about gas prices because of inflation, because in the last 3 years, the Fed has printed $9 trillion of money. Well, they don't really print money, they just add zeros and digitally do that. But I digress. I will talk more about that later. I should maybe flip the burger, but I still got 2 more minutes left. So I have a little more milk. I'm gonna put a little Tabasco sauce on my other burger. That's good. So basically, stop complaining about gas. Start complaining about things that should have happened that didn't happen. Or no, just don't complain and complain. I don't know. I'm not sure if I wanted to say anything more else about milk and gas. Basically, milk as a renewable resource per gallon is more expensive than the gas, at least in Wisconsin, which is pretty funny. And really good too. Man, I should drink more milk. Okay, I'm gonna flip the burger. It looks really good. I'm gonna do another 5 minutes on this, and we'll see you when it's done. All right. Alright, so here we are. Got my second burger done. We're going to cut into it. Enjoy a little bit. Got the big dollar sign next to me. What do you think we're talking about next? You got it. The almighty dollar. Alright. Cold hard cash. Comes to find out, there's not that much of it. So let's jump in. I'm gonna set this aside. Have a sip of milk. Ooh, that's my coaster. So, cold hard cash. Oh, I forgot my wand. All right, my pointing stick. So let's talk about the dollar. Can you all see that? How's that? Is that better? All right. I don't know if you can read it or not, but there it is, right here. There's a board with a lot of colorful writing on it. First thing it says, cold hard cash, M0. All right? In economics, they use these M1s, M0s, M2s, M3s, M4s. I don't know what I'm doing kind of things. So here's cold hard cash. Cold hard cash is all the physical currency in the world. All the physical currency in the world is about $6 trillion, all right? And of that physical currency, there's about 2.2 in the United States of America, okay? So there's about $6 trillion of cold hard cash, dollars, pennies, nickels, dimes, big bills, small bills, any bills, all that cold hard cash. There's about 2.2 trillion worth of that in the United States, and there's 6 trillion, so 4 more trillion, or 4.8 more trillion, dispersed throughout the world, because a lot of the world keeps reserves in cash, because cash is king, as they used to say, and hopefully they still will say for some time if we get our act together. Easy money. Easy money is money that's digitally represented, like in your savings account, checking account, that's easily changeable into hard cash, in less than 24 hours. The United States would probably call this M2 money, but anyway, there's about $20 trillion of that easy money, which is also known as narrow money. That can be say, hey, I want to change my part of my 20 trillion into cold hard cash. Well, first come, first serve, right? For that. And then there's another 20 trillion that's a little harder than the M1, but it's still kind of easy money in terms of getting it to the cold hard cash. That's called narrow money. Hard money, or broad money, hard and broad, easy and narrow, hard and broad, easy and narrow, hard and broad, easy and narrow. Get it? Got it? All right. So hard money is about $50 trillion on top of this $40 trillion, which brings it to all day, $9 trillion, okay? So hard money is money that takes probably like more than 24 hours to convert into something that can make it to cold hard cash. Basically, we have a lot of money that is digitally represented, and almost as if it's already a digital currency, in my opinion. It's just tracked differently than digital currencies. Digital currencies is the buzzword now. You get cryptocurrency, blah, 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 which is super broad money, actually includes cryptocurrencies. That 9 trillion I don't think includes the cryptocurrencies. So super broad money is like stock market money, real estate money, cryptocurrency money. Cryptocurrency is only about $2.2 trillion right now in market cap, which is smaller than like market caps of Amazon or Apple. It's cryptocurrency, very small niche sector right now. It's trying to make more money than the financial sector profits for their own good, kind of thing. It's complicated. It's another day. It's another story for that. But in terms of digital money and cryptocurrency money, they're just tracked differently. Like U.S. Bank and J.P. Morgan Bank or Chase Bank, they all have their own accounts. They don't know how much money is in everyone else's account, but in blockchain you would know. In cryptocurrency you would know that. So it's a little different. The other thing I wanted to say, oh yeah, so cryptocurrency is around $2.2 trillion of market cap value, which is interestingly the same amount of value in student loan debt. Of all the student loans in this country right now is about $2.2 trillion, which is very small if you consider what I'm about to talk to you about next. So I just talked about all the value that we do have versus the value that we owe. So debt is our debt, and it's about $30 trillion, which is almost $10 trillion more than what we owed about 3 years ago or so, because it substantially increased with all the stimulus packages. So we increase about $2.16 billion a day on our debt clock, if you will, which, interestingly enough, is about the same amount that NATO has for their annual budget. So the current war with Russia and Ukraine was over a security organization called NATO, which its annual budget is worth the same amount of money that we accrue in debt every day for its fiscal budget. Their fiscal budget's about $2.2 billion. Well, we owe $2.2 billion more every day on our debt because of the obligations that we've written down and done. So all year, that's $788 billion per year, or $5,253 per person, which in a progressive tax structure would be different. So what do we want to do? We want to stop the clock. Stop the clock. Stop the clock. Stop the clock. Yeah, that's what you should be chanting, not stop the steal, stop the steal. Do you know how many steals in democracy and in blah 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 have happened, and you're complaining about that? You should be complaining about things that make the dollar less valuable and your life more in jeopardy than complaining about stopping the steal. Are you kidding me? You want to talk about deep state? You should think about deep world. All right. Carrying on then. How do we stop the clock? More tax or cut the fat? Combo. How about a combo? You like combo? I like a combo. So, stop overpaying. Meaning, stop paying for things that aren't worth as what they should be on written paper. Because there's fat and bacon given out in too much lard in the field of these contracts. You're paying too much for pharmaceuticals, you're paying too much to the leader of this company or the leader of that company. You're just paying, we are paying too much. Someone is making too much money, and also then maybe if you wanted to stop the clock, they could pay it in tax too. So it's a double thing. It goes on and on and on. Progressive algorithmic, I didn't put equation, basically a progressive algorithmic equation, tax equation, in which takes into account all of the incomes and values and revenues of each citizen of our country and puts it on a progressive algorithmic scale so that everyone that pays doesn't become in poverty, but yet we are able to break even on our fiscal budget, okay? So a break-even tax no matter what. You want to do it? Break-even tax no matter what? Yeah, we should. It'll be better for the dollar, and even if you have tons of money, because you're helping the dollar, you're helping yourself. The dollar is the ultimate weapon. If you control that and the ability to control its crazy valued inflation, from its beginning of existence, then you have the great opportunity to reign a entity, a country, to maintain its standing in the national perspective of ability to control things with its currency. So a break-even tax no matter what. I'm going to have another bite of burger. A little more bread. Flip the next page, and we got Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam? Praying and crying for you to stop the clock and break even. So, with that, we hope for peace and prosperity, not for only our country, but for the world as well. And that we have the forethought to make it happen.